I've spent the last week talking to execs, product owners, CEOs at firms, and the one thing that I've taken away from this past week is that the developer of today is gone. And it's not because software is going away. Software will literally be everywhere. But the developer as we know it today is dead. My biggest takeaway from Knowledge 2026 isn't the product announcements, it's the fact that no one wants to talk about the developer of today is gone. There's no more backlog. There's no more writing tickets. There's no more writing catalog items. There's no more writing your own scripts. The conference was centered around developers, but the big boogeyman in the room was that developers, as of today, are not going to be doing the same job. And you can see this in the way ServiceNow is positioning. You can see this in the way ServiceNow AI agents are popping up that can do a ton of the dev work. You can see this in the build anywhere skills that have literally cataloged everything a dev used to do in the ServiceNow environment. For me, this just felt like the big thing in the room no one wanted to talk about. I kept asking people, so what are developers going to do? My response back from a ton of people was just silence. No one wanted to talk about this. And for good reason, because AI is compressing all that work where you had to wait on a tech team to do all this business administrative work. Like, these things are here, these are happening today, and I'm seeing two polar opposite sides of what's happening in tech today. I'm seeing people who are accepting it on the frontier, doing these crazy things. And I'm seeing the other side that is slow to adopt and doesn't want to talk about these things. For years, the business had to wait on the developers to do some sort of work, or the developers told the business why they couldn't do something because of some random architecture. Now the business can spin up a solution in, 5 minutes. It's crazy today what you can do. Developers are getting nervous about this. And as they should. You look around, you see people doing your job better than you, faster than you, and then you're like, what am I going to do? If your job before was just tell me what to do and then I'll code it, that's gone. The developers of the future are going to be AI engineers. They're going to be working on governance. They're going to be working on security. They're going to be taking solutions that come from the business and hardening up those products. For a developer today, you either need to be on the business side with technical leverage and know where to use that leverage to produce these products that create revenue, increase margin, decrease risk for the business, or you need to be a super crack dev in AI engineering, security, governance, etc., where you don't have to be so involved in the business, but you're critical to the infrastructure of that company. At the big organization level, you're going to be managing tens of thousands of these AI agents, and they need people who will be able to do these kind of things. But they're not going to need someone to make a catalog item anymore. They're not going to need someone to implement a module, even at that level. So here is my thesis. Here's what I think. You either need to be extremely technical, the go-to guy on the team, you are extremely cracked, AI engineer, security engineer, etc. Or you need to be on the business side and know how to apply the technical leverage that you have developed over the past 8 years, 5 years. But getting that business expertise or understanding how to generate the business revenue is going to take some unlearning that you aren't used to. Because from university, you were always taught to look for why things should be wrong, how to use the correct architecture, how to use the right tools. But a lot of that doesn't matter, because your competition will create solutions and they don't care if they built on top of a third-party API. They just know they're making $1,000 a month. If you're in the middle between these where you're technical but not that technical, you don't know anything about the business, you're gonna get absolutely crushed. And I'll sit here and tell you this. People don't want to tell you this, but you'll get absolutely crushed. You need to become an expert in AI, cracked technically, or you need to pick up some business experience so you'll be able to produce business value for your organization. And I honestly really hate this because there's a lot of good people I know who are in this camp. They are good technically, but things are moving so fast. and you need to be catching up. Honestly, I'm hitting the red alert button. If you are not preparing for this, you will get crushed. You need to be preparing today for this. I was talking to some execs and they said they can't wait to cut their dev spend. I was talking to a CEO of a firm and they said, yeah, we just cut half our devs. I was talking to this one company and they can literally put software on your computer that looks at what your employees are taking a long time to do, and AI will go create that solution that automates that long process of your employee, whether that's to get rid of the employee or get your employees to work on better solutions. I'll leave that up to the viewer. I'm not sure. Literally every exec I talk to about this say you'll just be able to get these devs on tap. But someone has to watch what these devs do. There needs to be governance, there needs to be security. Someone has to code these dev agents. And then people need to be able to apply these dev agents, right? To create these business solutions. Maybe the old way you used to do things is gone. And for a lot of people, this is hard. And people are going to cope over this. I see a lot of cope on LinkedIn over this. But it is what it is. And I'm begging people out there, hitting the red alert button. You need to be preparing for this. But at the big enterprise level in these niches, like maybe Salesforce or ServiceNow, things kind of take longer for network effects to take off. And you're starting to see the first bit of rumblings right now, where I'm seeing a ton of different ServiceNow agents pop up that can do exactly what my old job was. Some of these really complex modules used to take months, and implementing these integrations took like a week or maybe even 2 weeks. These things take like 10 or 20 minutes now. It's ridiculous. What we can do as developers is prepare for this by getting on opposite ends of the spectrum. And for me, what I did is I got really into AI engineering and messing around with AI. And then I also got on the business side where I learned business leverage and what companies care about. And for me, I'm starting to see the effects of that now, where I'm pretty set up. But you can learn these things. And I encourage you, and I'm begging other developers out there, you need to learn this stuff. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming, okay? This is not fake. It's a new paradigm shift. So when I say the developer is dead, I'm not saying engineering is going away. I'm saying the old identity is done. If you're a developer out there, pick a side. Deep technically, security, governance, AI, or you need to get on the business side and use your technical leverage and pick up business. Hey, agree, disagree? Let me know down below.